In today's video, I'm going to be going over the main reasons why you are not profitable in the market. I'm going to be going over each main reason and reasons I have not seen covered on YouTube and that were super important for me becoming profitable and actually getting payouts on my funded account. I'm a funded trader through One of One, which is TJR Trades prop firm. A $15,000 account, and I'm going to be going after a $100,000 account pretty soon. So the first main reason that I really think most people overlook is just simply respecting liquidity. All right. All uptrends, all downtrends have to respect liquidity. And this run that US 100 or Nasdaq is on right now is a great example of that, right? Every time price needs to go higher, it has to respect liquidity, right? Just through and through, the whole way. And once you get up here, you can see prices acting a little bit weird. So maybe we're looking for a downtrend now, right? So that's the main thing for me. I don't like to trade in big trends like this. I would have wanted to find a trade down here, find the breakout, right? When you find breakout trades instead of just trading in a trend, it's going to make you a much better trader. And also, trading in trends are like you pretty much, a lot of it, trading in trends, is just where are you going to put your stop loss, right? Like in this trade right here, let's see, a long position. Let's say you entered right here. This would have been a great trade. You target 2 to 1, right? Something along the lines of this. You take your profit. So this is a great example of it going right. But then there's also trades like here where maybe you enter right here, right? Maybe you enter right here in this position and you didn't respect the liquidity down here and you get stopped out. And it was still the right read and everything, right? You target 2 to 1. But because you respected this liquidity and not this green liquidity, you got stopped out and you lost all your bread. You lost your trade. So I think respecting liquidity is probably the biggest thing. I mean, liquidity is how the market moves, and it's why the market moves, really. Price is always seeking liquidity, right? Like right here, if we go out to a bigger time frame, you're going to see price is seeking this liquidity up here, right? It's seeking this high liquidity. That's what it's doing. And as you can see, just the same thing. It was seeking this liquidity, right? It was seeking all of the smaller liquidity in here, all the imbalances. So that's a really big one, is seeking liquidity. That's the first one I'm going to go over. Second one is not looking at high time frames. Right, so you can always get caught up on trading smaller time frames, 1 minute, 2 minute, 15, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, you always want to be looking at the higher time frames, and it's the same thing. If you're only looking at higher time frames, look at the lower time frames. Because like right here, you're like in a 1 minute, and you think it's all going in a downtrend. 1 minute, even 5 minutes, it probably looks like it's going in a downtrend. Let's see. Yeah, 5 minutes, like this is a harsh downtrend, right? It's a solid downtrend. Look, liquidity, right? Like there's liquidity here. More liquidity, right? Imbalances the whole way, right? On this 5 minute time frame. And the turnaround has liquidity. And so this all looks really good for sells. But if you scale out to like a 1 hour, you can see, ooh, maybe this is not actually what it looks like. Maybe price is not going to take this low, right? So then same thing, you want to look at higher and lower time frames. When you're on a high time frame, look at the low time frame. And when you're on a low time frame, look at the high time frame. Always have multiple confluences on each time frame, because each time frame is kind of its own thing. They're all grouped together, but it's kind of its own thing where certain liquidity lies. Right? On 4 hour time frame, which is a really big time frame, liquidity is going to lie completely different than on a 1 minute time frame. On a 4 hour time frame, you're like, okay, it looks a lot cleaner, right? Liquidity, bang, right? Like this sell liquidity, was not hit. We're going to see a turnaround right here. look, this liquidity got taken really aggressively. This liquidity did not get taken really aggressively, right? That's the type of stuff you need to look at when you're on the lower time frames. Look at the high time frames, and same thing when you're on the high time frames. Look at the low time frames, and other way around. All right, those are my first two big things. Always look at that. And there's another big thing that I don't abide by is don't always have a certain model. I always see YouTubers like ICT or I don't know, this guy Justin Weirlin or TJR, all of them. They all have models, right, to follow. But I don't like that at all. I think it's a horrible way to trade. And it's also a way for them to sell you on their course and whatnot. What you have to do instead is just get market experience from trading a long time, right? So just trade. Don't worry about the money for a while. Just trade on paper account. That's what I did. And, don't trade models. Don't trade specific confluences. What I like to do is I like to have a group of different confluences and skills that I have in my trading repertoire that I can merge in, right? And if you know structure, which is, I think, the most important thing, structure will pretty much lead to everything, right? So same thing right here. Like, if this, for me personally, if this low gets taken out aggressively, which it's not doing so far, if it gets taken out aggressively, I would not want to make a buy here. I'm done. There's no buys. The only option I'd be looking at is a sell, right, for a turnaround. It's the same thing down here. This low got taken out aggressively, and the high got taken out, and the high got taken out right here. Bang. I would have invested right here on the buy. This is where I would have got the turnaround. Bang. That's the breakout I would have wanted. Right? Not up here, not in the trend. Right here. The high gets taken, new high, right? And you're like, okay, you can just take the low. Doesn't do that. Aggressively takes this high. And you buy in the imbalance in the discounted area. That's my trade setup. I like to buy in imbalances off of an aggressive move like this. Right? Buy that imbalance from the aggressive move. Same thing with this right here, right? This is a great position. You go all the way up, and you're in this uptrend, right? The whole way we're in this really aggressive uptrend. Right? Bang. Huge uptrend. Okay. We get to this uptrend, we just have this huge sell-off. Now, in this huge sell-off, you'll be thinking, okay, price will recover, right? And it kind of did, right? It kind of recovered. But look, same thing. You want to make a breakout right here. One, there's a breakout right here where price comes back into the imbalance and then sells off again. And it's the same thing the whole way, right? Price is just respecting liquidity. More sell liquidity. Bang. All right. Keeps on going. And then turns around with that aggressive move. I always like looking at aggressive moves. And when you see an aggressive move, try to find an imbalance, right? When you're in the imbalance, always same thing right here, right? This is on a 4-hour time frame, so it's really massive, but huge imbalance, right? Right? These just pretty much a day of just straight upward motion comes right down into this imbalance and shoots up. Right? That's how trading works. Like for price to go somewhere, it needs to have money. It needs to have the power. And that's what liquidity does. It's my third main step. And my fourth step that I struggle with too, I think a lot of traders do, is just being disciplined enough not to chase, right? On my funded account, I lost $300 over the week, and it's because I chased. I would have only been down $200, but I've done an extra $100 because I chased my trades, right? Fear of missing out and whatnot. You chase a trade. So that sucks, and that's something that everyone needs to work on, especially me. So, you got into a good trade, and you're happy with the trade and everything. The trade loses, but you still think it's a good trade, right? So you enter again, and you lose again. So just a rule of thumb that I like to follow, or try to follow, I don't do it very well, is only take one trade a day. I know a lot of people say that, but just that's an amazing rule. I think TGR, I know I learned that from TGR. TGR was one of the main guys I watched on YouTube when I was learning how to trade, way back in the day. But just taking one trade a day is just amazing, and that is always going to keep you more disciplined. And it's gonna make you have your funded account longer instead of just blowing it in like a week. it's going to be pretty hard to blow a funded account in a week if you're taking one trade a day. Another big thing is just checking news. I always check news. Forex Factory is a great way to go. I'm not trading today. Why? Right here, PMI, USD, 2 high-packed IMPIC news, right? Flash services and flash manufacturing. I don't even know what that means, but it's red. I'm not trading it. Let's check next week. All right, we can check next week. Okay, we can trade. We'd have to wait until after 10 a.m. to trade. Probably wouldn't trade this. Probably wouldn't trade this. Probably wouldn't trade this. Right? Because your trade can just get tanked off rip by news. So those are my main, pretty much reasons that you're not unprofitable. And if I think you follow these, by rule of thumb, if you're a decent trader and you follow these, you'll become profitable in no time. But that's it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.